Hi, I'm Kate from House to Home and welcome back to Handmade Wedding. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this lovely seating plan, which is perfect for a rustic country wedding. We're going to be using burlap, pegs, ribbon and some of these tags that you may recognise from some previous crafts that we've done. So I'm just going to get this out of the way and then we can get started. The first thing we're going to need for our seating chart is a large frame. So I found this one, which I think works really nicely with the kind of the cream and the hessian theme that we've got going on. So the first thing we're going to need to do is take the glass out. Photo frames tend to be quite expensive, but I can definitely recommend places like Dunelm and IKEA to get slightly cheaper ones. So for example, this one, which is absolutely enormous, was only £16. Okay, so hang on to this bit because we're going to need it. Okay, very carefully, you can slide that out. So now we have hollow frame, smile. I'm going to lay that to one side and we're going to bring this piece of card back. We're going to use this piece of card and we're going to cover it in hessian and then we're going to pop it back in the frame, and that's kind of the main bit. First off, we're going to need to cut out some hessian with a border of about 10 centimetres all the way around, because then we're going to fold that in. And I've got a slightly unconventional method for attaching it, but it's quick, it's simple, and it's really, really easy. So first off, take some hessian. Now this is the first time we've really kind of used a load of this, and it will fray, don't worry about it. Once you've cut round it, the next stage is you're going to fold the hessian over the top of the card, and then, and this is where it gets a little unconventional, staple it. So we're going to staple it so the shiny flat bit of the staple is facing up and the kind of prong bit of the staple come out on the front side, and that's totally fine and you can really barely see them. Remember, pull the material tight all the way around. So we're just going to come back and sort out these corners, not because anybody's going to see it, but just because then it fits in the frame a little bit better. So just tuck all the excess underneath, and then I'm actually just going to fold it back on itself, just so I've made quite a nice triangle just down there, kind of like you just wrap a present. It doesn't have to be exact. If you find a method that works better for you, go for it. And then I'm just going to staple down that crease. So now that'll stay nice and in place for when we put it back in the frame. So I'm just going to work my way around, do that with all my corners. So just tucking the excess underneath, folding it over, creating my triangle, and then stapling. Fold under, fold. Okay, so now you can see we've covered the whole of that in hessian. Took a couple of minutes, so not too long at all. So that is done. The next thing we're going to do is write seating plan onto this. Now you can go for it and write or stencil it straight onto here, but if it goes wrong, it's a waste of quite a lot of material. And if we are looking after the pennies, then that's something we want to avoid. So we're going to take a smaller piece of hessian, write seating plan on that, and then wrap it around. And because it's the same material, yes, there will be a slight line divide, but from a distance, you can barely see it. I've printed out seating plan in this really lovely typewriter font, in keeping with the typewriter font that I've been using for the wedding favours and all those kind of things. You will need two of these, and the reason will become apparent in a minute. So my first one, I've actually just folded, just so I'm not distracted by the plan, and also this is how deep I want that piece of hessian to be. Okay, and that's that. So I'm just going to take away the paper because we are done with that now. And as you can see, now we have a smaller piece of burlap that says seating plan, so that is ready to go. Just place it on, just to make sure you've got it in exactly the right place that you want it, so that it's nice and the wording's nice and central. And then once you're happy with it, we're just gonna hold it really tight and then flip it over. I'm going to add twine, looping down. So depending on how many loops will depend on how many guests you're having at your wedding. So I'll leave that to you to decide. But what we're going to do with that twine is we're going to decorate some pegs. So I've got one that I decorated earlier. Again, with just some lace ribbon and a button. And with the loops of twine, we're then going to use the vintage style posted tags, write the table numbers and the guests' names on those, and then clip it on. Before we put that back in the frame, I'm just going to get everything finished. So the final thing I do is put it in the frame. And then when we lift this up, we will have our seating plan. So now all we need to do is peg on all of these and you're done. I love how all the materials, then even stuff like the ribbon and the buttons, then tie in. They're going to see this as they walk in and appreciate how beautiful it is. Then they're going to get to their seat and find their own handcrafted tag, again with the typewriter font, with the twine, with the tags. And it just really, really draws it in together. It shows that so much thought and care has been put into it. But like you saw, it really doesn't have to take that much effort or that much money whatsoever to create a really unique handcrafted item for your special day.